welcome back to another oil change. I'm going to change the channel name to just oil changes because I seem to be doing a lot of them at the moment. But on this one, I'm going to try the old ATF engine flush, which ATF is supposed to have a lot of detergents in it, so it's supposed to be good for cleaning shit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the oil, then I'm going to put a couple of litres of ATF in it, like that, and then I'm going to run it for a bit, and then drop it out again, and see if it achieves anything at all. Probably not, but stay tuned to find out. Now, a few years ago, about 3 years ago, I did do an oil change engine flush video, and I took the rocker cover and everything off. But I'm not going to do that. But what I will do is I'll show the places we can see, which is pretty much just that. That's pretty much all we're going to be able to see of the inside of the engine. But hopefully we'll be able to see what comes out. So first, I need to get the old shit out, which means going underneath the car and undoing, well, putting a tub to catch it, and then undoing this 14mm. I'm not going to be too extravagant on the process because it's very, very easy on these cars. And I have shown it before, probably more than once. Yes. I forgot to mention warm it up a bit first as well. This is still warmish. So let's drain all that shit out until it stops coming out. Yes, close enough. Right, so put that shit back in. And I'm not going to go mad tightening it up because I haven't got another copper washer, so I don't want to compress this one any more than what I need to, because it's going to come out again in a minute. So just nip that like so. And now this is the oil that we've just removed, which for a petrol engine is quite dirty actually. So let's put that shit back under there anyway. Now ideally, now what I would have done if I was a millionaire and I was a proper good YouTuber that made like real money from YouTube and stuff, I'd have bought another filter. I'd have replaced the filter before doing this and then after doing the oil flush, because obviously that is going to have a bit of oil left in it, which is going to contaminate the ATF that I'm going to put in now. But fuck it, I'm just going to do it anyway. I also could only really afford 2 bottles of ATF, and it takes more like 3 and a bit, but it'll be enough to tick over, and there's some left in the filter as we said. So let's put that in there, and then you can see how nice and red that is at the moment. Let's get all of it in, because most cars, by the way, if you're putting oil in, the bottle will sort of screw into the oil cap as long as it'll fit. Yes. So that's two litres of ATF in. So let's start it up and just watch out for oil lights and shit. Yes. Probably wouldn't recommend doing that, but let's circulate it nicely. And now I'm just going to leave it for about 20 minutes ticking over and pumping what is effectively, hopefully, a strong detergent around and see if it does anything or fuck all. And while doing so, probably a good idea to watch out for the pesky stoplight coming up saying there's no oil pressure, as the oil thins out and loses all its film strength and wrecks the engine. But I'm hoping that's not going to happen. And so far it's staying off and it doesn't sound like a bag of bolts or anything, but I have noticed something else. If you look at the bonnet, I don't know if this shows up, but remember I did the paint correction to a high standard on that side, and you can see in the sun, you can see all the swirls there and pretty much none there. So that seems to be working quite well too. And fuck it, that'll do. That's been going for a good, I'd say a good 20 minutes, but it's probably more like half an hour. So now let's drop the ATF out and hope it doesn't look like metallic paint with a load of glitter in it, because then we've probably fucked up a bit. So let's see what it comes out like. Yes. Let's get our sample for our scientific analysis. And that seems really thin. And that is actually fucking filthy. That is very dirtier than I expected it was going to be. It's actually as dark as the oil that came out the first time round. So that means either it's pulled a lot of dirt out the engine, which actually, that might be believable. That's quite clean in it compared to what it was. So now I've established that, I'm just going to go ahead and remove this filter, which was ridiculously tight from whichever Dick put it on last time, and I had to use these because I didn't have any proper tools. But now it's loosened off and it can be removed with ease. Just a bit of anti-corrosion though. As I spin it off all the way, nice and gracefully, and then put it. I just dump the shit about really. Not forgetting to lubricate the seal on the new filtration device before installation. And then installation of the new filtration device. Now some people will say always to fill these up first and what have you, but that really, I mean, yeah, ideally, you know, it's not going to do any harm apart from you're probably going to get oil all over yourself if you try and do that. Because a lot of them, they're not usually vertical. You know, they're either upside down or some shit on a lot of cars, so you can't do it on a lot of cars. But this one you could do it, but I'm just not going to bother. Then hand tighten as much as possible without. Then we can also put that shitter back in. Now, like I say, ideally you put a new copper dick washer on that, which you haven't got, and then use a torque wrench to tighten it to the correct specified pre-designated torque setting, which you also haven't got, so that'll have to do. And now I'm about ready to install about 3.5 litres, well, not about 3.5 litres, pretty much exactly 3.5 litres, because that is how much I've got of some 530 C3 Castrol Magnatech. Yes. And that's litre number 3.5, so let's get rid of that. Put that back on. Now, I should have mentioned this, is that these on the spec say it says something like 3.1 litres of oil. But I don't know if that's without the filter or not, or if it's to halfway up the dipstick line. I'm not sure, but whenever I've done one, it always seems to take about 3.5. So now I need to run the shitter and take it off these ramps and put it on flat level ground. Yes. 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 Should probably fix this. It will go eventually though, it always does. Yes. Yes. And that is now pumped around the engine. So let's get it off these ramps. Nice and gingerly and carefully. Yes. And now all that's left to do is to dip the shitter. So you dip your dipstick in. Oh yeah. And then when you pull it out, you'll have some lubricant on it. And yeah, that's fucking clean. But I don't know if you can pick it up on camera, but it is pretty much at the top line, which I knew it would be because it's always about 3.5 litres when I do an oil change on one of these shitters. So that's it. That's pretty much it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the usual shit. All I've got to do now is get rid of that somewhere. Not sure where I'm going to put it. Anyway, see you next time.